Tim the Toolman here. Have you ever had a brake caliper where you cannot remove the bolt? We have, and what we have here today is on this GM brake assembly. We have a frozen caliper, seized or just corroded, and it's very difficult to remove. So we're going to show you how to remove that today. This is a GM Pontiac. It's got a normal, common brake assembly here that's used on thousands of vehicles. I have the caliper removed. The rotor is still in place. I've got the rotor set in position here by putting some wheel nuts on with spacers. Keep it in place from moving around while I'm working on it. The upper caliper bolt came out okay. It was lubricated like it should have been. And after you take the caliper away, you can remove it real easily. The other bolt, however, is frozen very tightly. So what I've done here is I've screwed the caliper bolt into the caliper pin, and I put a couple of washers on there. The washers take up the same space as this part of the caliper right here. It's about a ½ inch. So that bolt is a bottomed out blind hole. So I don't want to go any deeper than what I can get tight. So I got that bolt real tight there with some washers on. That gives me a place to work. So what I've been doing is, by turning the wheel a little bit, I've gotten an angle on this where you can really give it a good whack from this side to try and get. But you know, I've been pounding on it for quite a while, and it's not moving one iota. So it's really frozen tightly. I can get a good swing at it there, and I can also get a good swing at it from this side with a punch or a chisel to move it back this way. But being as that it's frozen that hard, it's just a waste of time. I've been pounding on it for days, and you can get penetrating oil in here that's actually got a chamfer on, so the penetrating oil can penetrate, but trying to get the penetrating oil to go up in there horizontally is very difficult. I left it overnight with penetrating oil, and it hasn't done any good. So we're going to try another approach. Here's a little better shot of the situation that we have here. I don't know if you can see this very well, but I've got the washers on here with the caliper bolt held in place, so I can tap from this side, try and get it that way, and I can tap from this side, try and get it back. Sometimes using a punch, I can pound, but it's too frozen to come. One of the best tools in a situation like this is a pickle fork. I have two pickle forks here. I've got the ball joint pickle fork and a regular tie rod end pickle fork. And as you can see, this one is too big. It's not going to do anything. It's too big in two ways. It's too wide here, and it's also not thick enough back here. And the tie rod pickle joint is a better fit, and it actually is capturing this washer here, which I put on the back of that screw. But it's also not thick enough here to do the job. So I experiment a little bit, and I found that if I put a wrench in here that's the right size, I can get a good bite there, and I can get a lot of pressure on that caliper pin. What I've done here is I'm going to take this vice grip. I'm going to put the vice grip on here temporarily. And the vice grip has nice edges on its teeth here that I can pry against to move that pin out. So what I do is I have the pickle fork up here, and I can hammer all I want on the pickle fork up here, and I get a nice bite between the teeth of the vice grip and against that washer that I put on the end there. So I can get a lot of force on it there. But I found that after a lot of pounding, in this case, it's not going to come. Another thing that's kind of important, you have to be very careful with castings, because castings are very brittle. And this is a wing-ding casting with this outrigger here that's very susceptible to fracture. So what I've done is I've got this little screw jack here, and I'm going to support this a little bit, screw jack, just by getting it snugged up in here. And that way I put just a little pressure on there, an exact amount of pressure, so that as I'm pounding on here, I get a lot better results because the impact is going directly to the part and it's protecting this casting a little bit. Anytime you're pounding around a casting, there's always a danger of fracturing it. There isn't much you could do about that. But we've come to a point here where we hammered on this and it's not enough to get that loose, so we're going to have to heat it. So anytime you work with flame in the garage, you should be aware of several things. Clean out any oil or brake fluid that you might have in the area that could catch fire, that could be flammable. Make sure there's no gasoline or anything in the area, obviously. You always want to have a fire extinguisher in the area. You'd like to have safety glasses, and gloves are always a good idea because it's always easy to forget that the parts are hot. It's good to have some kind of blanket, some kind of fire retardant material to squench a flame if it should ignite. Say oil should start burning on this rotor, for example. You can't fight an oil fire with water, so you want to have some other alternate available. Okay, we're going to heat this, and we're going to heat this for about 3 minutes. I think, and I'm going to count to 180, and I want to get it nice and evenly heated, and I got to be careful with the casting that I don't overheat it. And I think I'll have to heat it for about 3 minutes. So I'm just going to count to 180, and when I see something getting red on there, I know that I'm hot enough. We've got this all nice and hot, and while it's hot, we've got to work quickly. I'm going to put the support back under here that I had. Just to support that casting a little bit. And then I'm going to be able to hit this as hard as I want, or hit this hard enough to get it to release. And eventually it will come if you keep at it, and if it doesn't come the first time, you might have to stop and reheat again. So this one has come, and you can see here it is. The slider is very badly corroded, and the entire assembly was corroded, and not only that, but it was bent. So it may have been installed. It could have been bent during the disassembly process, but it could have been bent earlier. In any case, if you ever have something this difficult, this gives you some tips on how to deal with it.